do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. Fuck. It makes you wonder who's in charge. Who is in charge? Yeah, it's definitely a good time. It's definitely a good time. And a couple other things. I just realized something. I wondered why that wasn't on the wall behind me, because it should be on the wall behind me. So, yeah, clearly I got to attach that a little better. Just put that right here for now. Sit right there. Okay, I'm not putting that there for now. I'll just put that on. It's right there. Okay. All right. Professional videographer. That's what I need now. That's what I need now. All right. So, the Strait of Hormuz, as you may know, is open. Psych. No, it's not. It's closed. Again. And apparently we just punched a hole into an Iranian tanker, freighter. I don't know. It's just an Iranian ship. That's all I know. And the Marines have boarded it, and it is now in the possession of the United States of America. Good for us. I'm extremely excited about the fact that we are now officially pirates on the high seas. We just take whatever the hell we please, and that's just the way it is. Does make me wonder, though, like, where's the moral high ground in all of this? Automatic registrations for the draft start in December. You heard me. Yep, saw that today. Yeah, I guess they like to do stuff like that over the weekend. Or like the FISA court thing where they get to continue to spy on you without your consent or knowledge, without a real warrant. And that was passed at 2:00 in the morning last week during the week. Congress apparently felt like it was important enough to spy on its own citizens that it came in to take a vote at 2:00 in the morning. I believe they said 2:09 a.m. Now, when was the last time you talked to any Republicans or Democrats or independents that were sober at 2:00 in the morning? I don't know of any. So my question is, if it's good evening, Charles. If it's that important, they spy on us, that they actually came in and took a vote at 2:00 in the morning. What is the United States of America now? What does it mean? What does it mean? Because I think my daughter may have come up with something that really explains it all. It does. It explains it all. And she brought it up from a different point of view. She said something off the cuff that was really interesting to me, because what we were talking about at the time had nothing to do with government. It didn't have anything to do with the United States of America. But it did have to do with something I've studied a lot. and that is psychopaths. See, psychopaths are weird. Psychopaths aren't normal humans. They're different. In the Talmud the Jews say that I'm not human because I'm not Jewish. They literally say that Gentiles are not human beings. And it's not misinformation. I'm just quoting the Talmud. Literally, I was studying it again last night, and it says very clearly that Gentiles are not humans. They also mention that even the best of us, Gentiles, and the actual quote is, even the best of Gentiles should be killed. Woof! That's pretty heavy duty. But here's what my daughter said, and it was really interesting because it's kind of an interesting take. She's been reading the Bible a lot, and we've been talking about it and discussing it. And she said, so Jesus isn't talking about saving your body. When he says you'll live forever, he means spiritually. And I said, yeah, of course, your soul. She goes, okay, so your body doesn't live on, but your soul does. And I said, yeah, precisely. And she said, so your soul is what makes you who you are, what makes you a person. And I said, yeah, absolutely. And she said, so psychopaths don't feel anything for anybody. And I said, right, their amygdala has a defect in it, and they simply cannot feel emotions for anyone. Like they can't love you. If they wanted to love you, they can't love you. Psychopaths are incapable of feeling empathy or sympathy or anything else. They just don't. And she said, so that means they don't have a soul. And I said, yeah, you could say that. And she said, well, then if they already don't have a soul, then they can't be saved. You can't save somebody's soul if they don't have one. And if they're incapable of feeling love, aren't we taught that God is love, that Jesus is love? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, they can't love. And I said, you're absolutely right. And it's like, ooh, okay, so wait a minute. And then the wheels started going, man. Smoke started coming out of my ears, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting because, oh, Bill, shut up. That's dumb. Oh, Democrats don't have souls because, look, they're bleeding hearts. They want to help everybody to the point where they don't think about the numbers. They don't think about the actual exercise of doing it. They just come up with ideas about how they can feed everybody all the time. And then they go, okay, now that we promised it, now, does anybody have a job? Okay, you with the job, give us all your money. So come on, let's be honest here. Let's not just throw out, this is not TikTok where I'm dancing with my bra off and trying to get your attention. This is actual big grown-up people here. So think like one. The problem is that there are Democrats and Republicans who don't have any emotions. Well, does that mean they don't have a soul? If a psychopath can unalive their own mother while eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and not think twice about it, which is absolutely 100% provably a fact that a true psychopath can do that. Does that mean that those people have no soul? Because if they have no soul, then they are evil. And do you want to know, if you look it up, you can Google this. Do you want to know where the highest amount of psychopaths can be found in the whole world? Politics. Politicians. Well, Thomas, that's great, but how can you prove that? So you can believe it. I can't argue with your belief, but I'm saying from the standpoint of trying to explain what is evil and what is good and who can be saved and who can't be saved. If somebody has no soul, and we're assuming that if they can't feel love, which they don't, period, it's a provable fact that they have no love for anyone. They don't feel empathy for hurting people. They don't feel sympathy for the poor. They can't. And the way that they've tested that in the past is by actually torturing psychopaths. Now, they didn't call it torture back then. It was simply an electroshock test where you got shocked if you lied, or if they suspected that you were lying, they would shock you. And the guy who wrote the psychopath test actually did all of these tests back in the 70s when shocking prison inmates wasn't a big deal. And what he discovered was that psychopaths have no emotional memory whatsoever. So you can shock them and all of their levels go up, the adrenaline, everything goes up, and their heart rate starts to increase, and then their sweat glands go crazy. And the moment you stop with the electricity, everything falls right back down to baseline and they're totally calm again. And then if you threaten to do it again because you think they're lying, it stays at baseline. Now, you could take the most hardened criminal, murderer, rapist, whatever. And as soon as he thinks that you're about to push that button and shock him again, his heart rate starts to go up. He starts to sweat. You can see like everything that you would expect a human to do, he does. And then if you don't do it, it slowly goes back down. Not a psychopath. Hey, I'm going to shock you. Okay. You shock them and it's like, okay. Goes up, goes right back down. Doesn't ease back down. They have no memory. They have no emotional memory whatsoever. They're broken. There's a part of their amygdala that simply does not function. I mean, we've narrowed it down over the last 50 years of studying psychopathy to see that it just doesn't work. And here's the saddest part. It's not their fault. I can walk up to a psychopath and say, look, man, do you want to fit in? And he can say, yes, I do want to fit in. Okay, do you want to live a normal life like everybody else? Yeah, I think so. I see other people and I don't know what that is. But I'd like to try it. No, you can't do it. Can't fix it. You can't make them feel emotions. They feel nothing. That's who runs the world. That's who's in charge of our country. Democrats and Republicans. It's not about Christian or Muslim. It's not about Jew. It's not about any of that. It's about the fact that there are people that have no soul. Do Jews believe in a soul? Yes. They don't believe I have one, but they believe in one. Do Muslims believe in a soul? Of course. Do Christians believe in a soul? Of course. That's literally the whole point of Jesus, was to save your soul, not your body. Okay. So what about Hindus? Oh, absolutely. Buddhists? Yes. All major religions believe that you have a soul. But there are people in this world that have no soul. What do we do about that? Because they are the problem. They are absolutely the problem. Is it black people? Nope. Muslims? Nope. There are lots of people from lots of different races, religions, backgrounds, but they all have something in common. They all feel something. Now, they do the wrong thing sometimes. They pay for it. They pay for it. If they were given a social structure that aligned with everybody else's social structure, would they probably be just fine? Yes. Regardless of their color? Yeah. Well, what about their background? What about their religious beliefs? Well, if they believe that hurting people was bad, then it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. But what about the people who claim to be Muslim, but they're psychopaths? Or they claim to be Jewish, but they're psychopaths? Or they're Christians, but they're psychopaths? A psychopath is all there is. If you're a psychopath, you're a psychopath. Nothing else. You can't be a psychopath and doesn't work that way. You could be a psychopath and a plumber, but your life will be full of people that you hurt, people that you disappoint, people that you steal from, lie to, cheat on, because you just do what you want when you want. And there is no emotional connection to anything. It's like me with a chocolate eclair. Now I know I can't eat that chocolate eclair. I'm on a diet. So you leave me alone for 5 minutes with that chocolate eclair. One of us is going to go. One of us won't be there when you get back. I'll probably be there when you get back, but it's just a thing. I can't help myself. Well, they feel the same way, except they feel that about grape or unaliving somebody for their insurance money or running United Healthcare. Imagine sitting behind a desk every day, and I want you guys to think about this. Play this game with me for just a second. Let's hallucinate together. You're the CEO of Humana or the CEO of United Healthcare. Now, you make $10 million a year. So basically, you're not breaking $1 million a month yet. Sorry. But you're pushing $1 million a month in terms of salary. Now, you have a job to do, and that job is to take care of all of the people that bought your product. But you also have another group of people to take care of, which are the shareholders. By law, you do have to take care of the shareholders too. That is part of the law, is that you must try to make as much money as possible for your shareholders. See how that's a beautiful excuse? Because here's the point. I have these two groups of people that I have to have loyalty to. Now, this group of people, these sick pukes who ate goy slop burgers and smoked cigars and cigarettes their whole lives and drank and acted like idiots and didn't take care of themselves, now they expect me to bail them out. They expect me to come to their rescue now that they've given themselves cancer, now that they have diabetes. They want me to take care of it. Well, if I have to, I will. But I'm not part of this group. I get the best medical care. I eat organic food. My kids go to private schools. I have everything handed to me on a silver platter because I went to the right school. And so because of that, I have this like my diet is so clean, it's unbelievable. Oh, it's delicious too, don't get me wrong. And yeah, I might partake a little too much in beer once in a while, get a little belly, but other than that, I'm healthy as an ox. I will live to be 100. So I'm not part of this group. But this group, oh, I'm a stockholder. So yeah, I'm super loyal to this group because I am this group. I had a private chef. I wasn't that rich. I still had a private chef. Why would I have a private chef? Well, because my now ex-wife said that she loved to cook. Turns out what she meant was I love to cook once in a while when I feel like it, when I'm not 2 bottles of wine and an eighth of weed into the afternoon. Oh, well, since we have kids, and I don't cook worth a shit, and I make a couple $100,000 a month. Well, let's just get one. And it was awesome, super fun, totally fun. Now, I can tell you that looking back on that time after getting divorced and separating myself from millions of dollars, the only thing I miss about being rich is a couple things. Number one, being able to get a massage whenever you want. Like you're working out, you're running, you're doing your thing, whatever. And man, sometimes you wake up, you're just sore. Being able to just call a masseuse and have them come over and just beat on you for an hour, and especially if you do it regularly, you just feel great. Like it makes you literally feel 10 years younger. And then the other thing was all of the fun stuff you could do. That was the best part. Yeah, that's curious. That's a good point. And by the way, when I mean stuff you could do, like I went to NASA with my daughters, two of my daughters. We went to space camp. We got to use all of the same simulators and stuff that the astronauts use. It was awesome, super fun. They had Capcom set up just like in Houston with all the different displays, and sat there. We had the headsets on and we talked back and forth, and I got to be a part of it. So it was super fun. Great week. My daughters, at the end of 10 hours a day, 10 hours a day of straight cramming knowledge, just learning as fast as you could possibly learn. They said, "Can we stay for another week? Is there a way to extend this and do it for longer?" I wish, because I never thought, especially one of my daughters who hated school, had panic attacks about going to school. And she was kicking ass at this and she loved it. She wanted to stay. And I thought, wow, great teachers really do make great students. Like it was fun. It wasn't just sitting at a desk all day. It was what you would call real education. So anyway, different topic completely. Let's get back to the fact that if you don't have a soul and you run a country, what's that country going to look like? If you don't have a soul and you run a company, what's that company going to look like? I'll tell you exactly what it's going to look like. And the guy who did this said it's the worst decision he's ever made, and he feels horrific that he did it. And worse, that he did such a fucking great job at it. Michael Douglas, Wall Street. Yeah. Gordon Gekko. Remember that speech he gave about greed is good? Yeah. That fucking destroyed the entire boomer generation. They swallowed that like, it was hook, line, and sinker. They swallowed that. And it's like, yeah, greed is good. Bumper stickers all of a sudden, a couple of years later, started popping up. He who dies with the most toys wins. Remember those bumper stickers? I do. He who dies with the most toys wins. And of course, Generation X had to finally get all snarky about it and say, yeah, he who dies with the most toys is still fucking dead. Whatever. 8 glasses of water a day, my ass. 3. Now, this I can do. Fill it up, drink it. Fill it up, set it aside somewhere. And as soon as I start thinking about drinking it, I go and drink as much as I possibly can. Now, by doing that, I've literally gotten to the point where the first time in my life, I'm drinking enough water. And when I go to the doctor, they don't go, "Ooh, dude, your kidneys are really stressed. You're dehydrated." Huh, okay. There you go. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. I think I've proved that point. So, yeah, yeah, we owe them our lives. That's a fact. So we got a situation here. I don't know if the war is on or off. I mean, let's take a look real quick. Let's see if we're at war today or not. Goldman desk warns market now primed for a pullback. Yeah, no shit. I've been saying that for over a year. Our barrel of gas went down to 80. Well, that's what I saw, 79, 78, something like that. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Seriously? I hope that's not a quote. U.S. strikes and seizes Iranian cargo ship trying to break blockade. So we put a hole in their engine room and then seized their ship. Okay, so nobody got killed, thank God. Washington renewed Russian oil sanctions waiver will help their shared Indian partner. What is this? JP Morgan's top commodity analyst shocked. Prices are falling, but nothing has improved. That's stupid. They've gone down for what, 3 minutes? And they've gone down what, 1%? Yeah, it's okay, so let's see. 8 out of 10 of the most surveilled cities on the planet are Asian. I don't know what it is, why they insist on allowing themselves to be treated like absolute shit, but that is one of the reasons that in Ohio right now, there are some very wealthy Jewish businessmen that are importing lots of Pakistanis, lots of Indians into Ohio to work in their factories. And of course, they're displacing the people who used to work there and live there, but whatever. Hey. So the problem, of course, is that, once they get used to having a workforce that can be treated like absolute garbage, well, they're not going to want to put up with us anymore. So let's see. It's a bull trap. I could see that. Okay. New feminist trend proves they have smooth brains. That's not nice. Oh, so there's a delusional group of feminists who think that staring at men's junk is going to teach them a lesson about leering and body shaming. Well, big dog, it's getting kind of hard to believe anything. It really is. Trump's cryptic "the end is near" post sends internet into frenzy. He posts Frank Sinatra classic hours after White House Situation Room meeting on the Hormuz crisis. I know that there are people out there who believe that he's playing 5D chess. You just don't understand Trump's sense of humor, bro. I guess what it boils down to is, and I was thinking about this earlier today. There was a movie. Oh no, I've got a very good idea, unfortunately. Um, what was that movie called? It was the movie where the kids have to fight each other for survival, and it's Hunger Games. The Hunger Games. And the thing that shocked people about Hunger Games is how vile the idea is that you'd send these young people out to kill each other in order to survive, and they had to do it, and it was just, it was so wrong. And the thing that was wrong about it wasn't that these kids killed each other because they had to. They were forced into that situation. The thing that was the most disgusting about it was how everybody just sat around sipping champagne and partying and laughing and, oh my gosh, oh darn it, my guy's gone. And it was like the idea that humans dying was just, eh, it happens. I mean, it doesn't happen to us. Clearly, look at us. We're superior. We don't get killed like that. That type of disconnection is absolutely evil. That is demonic. To be able to watch people die and laugh about it or make jokes about it. And the reason I bring that up is because a couple weeks ago, when President Trump made a joke, I was watching when he said this, and I had to rewind it on YouTube to watch it again because I thought I heard it wrong. When he was talking about how, we might end this, we don't have to end it. We can, we've wiped out their Air Force, we've wiped out their Navy, their military's completely gone. We got the best military in the world. We don't have to keep bombing at this point. We've bombed everything there is to bomb. I mean, we could keep bombing. I might just keep bombing just for fun. Now, I know you're thinking, what the fuck is your problem, dude? It's a joke. Like, grow a set of balls. Don't be such a whiny baby. I get that. Okay, I see that point of view, which is, hey, he's just joking. But there are certain things that you don't joke about. I mean, you just don't. You're out with your friends and you're like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I killed your daughter? What? What the fuck did you just say to me? Oh, I was just being funny. That's not funny. Did you just say you were going to kill my kid? Well, I didn't mean it. Come on, man. Fuck. Are you really that thin skinned? What a wussy, man. Grow a pair, dude. Like, there are certain things that you can't joke about. That you can't. If you found out that a woman had been raped and you tried to make a funny about that, oh, well, you were wearing lipstick. That's not fucking funny. There's nothing about that that's funny. Trying to say that, hey, it's your fault. I'm just kidding. Whoa. There's a line, man. And we all know where it is. Comedians get paid, some of them, to push that line a little. Say stuff that's a little like, ooh, that's a little too soon, but it is funny. But those types of comments are so far outside the line. They're so far over the line that you don't make them. Now, I understand that Trump is a rich kid. His daddy was a slumlord who had billions of dollars, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. He's probably never been in a fist fight. ever in his entire life. He's never been hurt physically. He's never hurt anyone physically. He's certainly never ended anybody's life. Not in anger. So the question is, at what point do you realize that the man who's in charge has no connection to reality anymore? None. Like, I get it. Like they made fun of Obama for being at a farm and he said, "Oh, what do you guys grow here? Arugula?" And everybody's like, "Oh my God, what a classist thing to say. What a turd. Oh, he's never been to a real farm. He doesn't realize it. Only vegetarians and vegans and people from Portland eat that shit." No, not really. I eat arugula. I don't like the taste of it, but I know it's good for me. And I can put up with a little bit of it in my salad. So yeah, it's good for me. I'll eat some. Does that make me what? Make me gay? No. So, but that's an example of people pounding on Obama who, do I like Obama? No. Is he a classist jerk? Yeah, actually he is. But to go after somebody for not realizing that they were at a farm that grows lettuce, but defend somebody who makes a joke about dropping bombs on human beings in a country that they have never been to in their life. I don't know, man. What do you do with that? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? What are my war fighter friends supposed to do with that? What are my Marines supposed to do with that? How are we supposed to take that? Because I can tell you this, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, it's not a fucking disorder. That's what a bunch of idiot civilians call it. Morons who have no business even talking about it call it post-traumatic stress disorder. When somebody has gone through what a lot of these guys have gone through, what they've seen, a lot worse than what I saw, I was lucky. But some of these guys saw things that you can't reconcile them. You cannot reconcile normal life, what you do every day, what you see every day, driving to work, somebody yelling at you because you used your turn signal, but they ignored you, but you saw that there was enough room and you got in there anyway as they were trying to speed up and cut you off. And now they're road raging at you because you son of a bitch, I only gave you 800 feet and I was trying to close the gap. Oh, I'm sorry. And then you think about the things that you've had to endure that were complete insanity. See, post-traumatic stress disorder is what a normal mind does when it's put in a completely insane environment. When was the last time you walked outside of your house, and let's just say that you walked your dog to the park, and on your way to the park, you stepped over a dead kid? Now, I'm not saying that they were there for a long time and the smell was just fucking awful. They're pretty fresh, so they don't stink yet. But you still had to step over them and walk to the park. What would that do? What would happen if your son or your daughter had to step over another child who was torn to pieces to get to the park? That's fucking war. War is insanity. War is absolutely the most perfect proof that there is evil on this planet. You do not fucking blow people up and destroy their lives unless it is absolutely necessary. What's necessary? Well, it's necessary to stop somebody from invading other countries and just killing entire groups of people because they don't like them. Okay. All right. That's, yeah. Like, does that mean that good people have to step in and stop the bad people from killing other good people? Yeah, absolutely. Does that mean that if you are a good human, that you see a much larger evil group taking advantage of a much smaller, helpless, kind, let's say, godly group because they clearly don't know how to defend themselves? Yeah, yeah. That's why a lot of us joined the Marine Corps because we wanted to fight evil. We wanted to be the guys on the wall. We wanted to be the guys that saved people who were innocent, who were naive, who were sweet, who were, godly sheep. Great. You go be God's lambs. I'm going to be something that you don't even want to see. That's because that's my lot in life. We all have our jobs. My job is going to be to protect the sweet, good-hearted people of this world from the evil. I want monsters to have fucking nightmares about me. I want monsters to think that, oh my God, I don't want to run into that. That's why. Why would anybody want to be Delta? The fuck, really? Well, my feet hurt all the time. But if I joined Delta, then my knees and my hips would probably hurt. My lumbar would feel like somebody cracked me in the back with a fucking baseball bat. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll do that. I want to be a Navy SEAL, although that's different because Navy SEALs all get to write books now and become famous. Mostly survival guides, which doesn't make any sense because if you're not a Navy SEAL, you can't do what they do. Because I found out sea, air, and land, that's bullshit. That's not what SEAL stands for. It stands for sleep, eat, and lift because that's what they do. Sleep, eat, and lift. My point is this. These guys, in the meat, I don't know what that means. Of the time, I like what you have to say, but you don't have the privilege to be in the meat. In the meat. I have no idea what that means. How is the military morale right now? Man, I got to tell you, I can't even guess. I mean, I can, shit, it's on this phone. In the meeting, oh, I see what you're saying, because being in the Marine Corps doesn't give me the right. Having people die in my hands, literally watch their carotid artery and see their pulse stop, that doesn't give me the right. I think I got the right. So, I did see a picture, and I hope I'm wrong about this. Of a slab of something. We joke about mystery meat in the Marine Corps. It's a joke. Come on, man. We don't give a fuck. It's like we joke about getting the worst gear after the Army's abused it. If the Navy doesn't want it and the Air Force can't use it, they'll give it to the Marine Corps, and we'll make do with it. We'll still kick your ass, even though we've got duct tape on our shoes or whatever. We joke about this stuff all the time. We joke about the terrible food. We joke about the fact that the moment we deploy, our girlfriends cheat on us. We joke about all this stuff because we have. I mean, it helps a little to be a little nihilistic, but the reality is that everybody's got a breaking point. Everybody gets to a point where they're like, okay, look, I'm just getting fucked. I'm not digging this anymore. If what I saw is actually true, if what I saw as far as what they're being fed on ship is true, yeah, I'm angry as fuck. I'm pissed Because look, if you're gonna put my Marines on a ship in the middle of the ocean, they're gonna have to worry about getting blown up all day, every day. And I mean all day, every day. Yeah, I know. That's Ivan, believe me, I've seen the reports, man. And here's like this is what's changed. In 2006, I think it was 2006, maybe it was 2005. I got a report from one of my Marines who was on board a ship in where the fuck was he? I think they were sailing into the Indian Ocean, but they were near Indonesia somewhere, if I remember correctly. For some reason, I remember that they were near Indonesia, and he was on board a ship, and he said that they cut their rations back to a meal a day. I immediately called John McCain's office and just let him have an earful. I was like, "Look, guys, this is not. You do not want this. You do not want this. I know that John McCain was a prisoner of war. I know he knows what it feels like to eat rice and bugs. He knows what it feels like to feel like you're starving. I know that he knows that. Please do something about this. I have faith that as a military guy, he doesn't know that this is going on, and when he finds out, it'll get fixed." And boom, 6 weeks later, 6 weeks later, it was all better. Now, is that overnight? No, but logistics. That's why I think that all of this is just like this is so poorly thought out. The logistics, etc. It's like you know, if you'd come to me in February and said, "Hey, man, we're going to war game a scenario where we're going to invade Iran," I would have said, "Okay, my Marines are your best option." Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Rangers lead the way. You got your airborne guys. What falls from the sky? Trouble. Yes, I like your average army soldier. Whatever, fucking janitor, as far as I'm concerned. Once you get to airborne, now you got some guys who they're not afraid of being trained up. Once you get to Rangers, now you're talking about guys that I respect as a Marine. I respect these guys. These guys want to be hardcore. Love that. Delta, fucking, those guys are just fucking nuts. Green Berets, ultimate respect for them. Ultimate respect for the Green Berets. These guys are fucking amazing because their job is to go in and could they kill everybody in the village? Well, they could. That's not why they're there, though. They're there to go in and say, "Okay, guys, listen, we're the good guys. We want to help." Now, first of all, your water filtration system sucks. That's why your kids are getting sick. And the more diarrhea they have, the more water you feed them, the more diarrhea they get. This is called dysentery. We're going to fix this. They show them how to build wells that aren't downstream from where they dump their bodies, that kind of thing. They go in and they fix stuff and they make the village work better. And they teach them how to defend themselves and how to do all these different things. They make their lives better. And then they say, "Are you with us?" Well, hell yeah. Who's not going to be with you? If you look, come to my house, make my kids' lives better. However you do that. When I see that that's the case, that's it, man. I'm on your side because you're on my side. That's just the way men think. So tons of respect for Green Berets. That what a brilliant idea that is, because it's hearts and minds. Marines, we're not really hearts and minds guys. We try. I mean, you give kids candy when you can, but there's a good chance you're probably going to be blowing up their house later on anyway. So just pray they're not in it. That's Marines. So anyway, my point is this. I didn't want to get off on a tangent about how people with PTSD are perfectly normal because a situation that is insane, disgusting, incomprehensible is it changes you. It just changes you. And, it's like anything else. Beat your kid every day. See how they turn out. Whether they deserve it or not, unbeknownst to them, you're in a bad mood that day. So you just whack them around. I joke that I was one of the few people who came out of the Marine Corps with less PTSD than I had when I went in. So, do I still sleep with earplugs? Yeah, because every noise wakes me up. Do I still have to have a dog in the room, a big German Shepherd? Yeah. Not necessarily, though. I could swap him out for my Doberman Pinscher, but my point is, I have to have a dog in the room or I can't sleep. Can't fall asleep because everything, it's like, what was that? What was that? Just, and it could be 3 doors down and I'll still hear it. That's just, and hypervigilance is probably one of the least bad parts of PTSD. It's probably one of the things. Do you have any hope that he isn't pathological? I'm trying to understand. Like, imagine you're the president of the United States. Okay. Now, one of the things that we do know is that if you're going to keep your opponent on their back foot, instead of pressing forward, they're backing up. You have to be unpredictable. That's kind of one of the rules is be unpredictable. But unpredictable has a limit. Like, don't get to the point where you're unreasonable. Don't get to the point where you're completely and utterly devoid of any baseline truth, because then your opponent realizes that there's no point. There's no point in negotiation. There's no point in talking about this. The only time, like, I'll give you an example. In the UFC, and this is with cage fighting in general, okay? When you go out to the middle at the beginning of the fight, when you bump fists or shake hands, and I've actually had guys reach out, grab my hand, put their hand against my hand, and shake my hand. Like, and what they're doing is they're thanking me for this competition. They're saying thank you. All right. This is warrior shit, man. I like this. Like, okay, we're in this. Whoever wins, no hard feelings. We're not angry at each other. This is chess. It's just chess where you might get your teeth loosened up a little or a bloody nose or whatever. You might need a couple stitches, no big deal. But this is chess with a lot of adrenaline involved. Okay, cool. I'm down with that. And so that type of respect, we're going to fight, but we respect each other. That's one of the things I love the most about mixed martial arts. You see these guys just pound the shit out of each other. And the moment that bell goes off, the moment you hear the buzzer, they hug each other. Now, you'll see it, but they'll take a step back and they go from wild-eyed to, whew, and you see it click. Like, okay, I'm a human again. And then they go and they hug each other. They shake each other's hands. Sometimes they joke. Sometimes they stop in the middle of the fight to high-five each other because they're so impressed. They're so impressed. You are beating the absolute dog shit out of me, dude. What? When was the last time you saw that in a street fight? These guys are professionals and they respect the rules. That's what you call a rules-based economy or a rules-based situation. We don't have that. There are no rules. Hey, we're going to send some guys over to negotiate with you. Oh, okay, good. Who are they? Well, they're going to be two Orthodox Jewish guys who are extreme Zionists, and they're going to sit down with you and basically not listen to a word you say, They're going to make demands that are absolutely batshit crazy. Like, if you do this, like, bro, just bend over and kiss your own ass. Goodbye. And then we're going to have them walk out. And by the way, the best part is one of them, the guy who's really in charge, Jared Kushner, he has no interest in peace. He has no interest in peace at all. He has complete 100% loyalty to Israel, not the United States, to Israel. He is Jewish first and American third. Because if you're Jewish first, that means you have to be for Israel second. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's like saying that I identify more than any other thing in the world as a United States Marine. But secondarily, I identify as a Polish citizen. Wait, but you just said United States Marine, right? So when you be the second would be the United States and then Poland? No, I really don't like the United States. What? Like that's silly. You can't do that. No, that's the point. Now, I will say this. I don't know if Witkoff is. I don't know if Witkoff is. I know that the only day that he was ever late for work in the Twin Towers was the day that it was hit. I know that. I know that 650 of his closest friends and employees all died that day. I know that he got an absolutely enormous, titanic insurance settlement and didn't want to share it with any of the families of the victims, of his employees, the people who died. Fought not to share it. Witkoff is a psychopath. That's clear. He doesn't know how to react. Look at his facial expressions. Yeah, he lost his brother on 9/11. Yeah. What? What's so goddamn funny about that, dude? No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong facial expression. Oh, it is? Oh, what should I do? What you have to understand is that California, it's the greatest state in the union, obviously. Greatest place on earth, really. I mean, if you think about it. They decided in their unlimited wisdom that they were going to take a bunch of psychopaths and put them together in a group in prison. Because they knew that if they could put these psychopaths together in a group, surely the psychopaths could see other psychopaths and realize, like, oh, okay, I have the same problems he does, and I see how he's dealt with his problems. And so they had a trained psychiatrist, one of the paragons of common sense in the world, a psychiatrist. I believe they're like third highest in suicide and second or third highest in drug addiction. They had a psychiatrist in the room with all of these psychopaths who would talk to each other and talk to the psychiatrist, and it went unbelievably well. It was amazing the amount of progress that these guys made. So much so that they decided that the program was an overwhelming success, and they actually released all of them on parole. Would anybody like to take a wild guess at how many of them reoffended? The recidivism rate. I'll go ahead and help you out with that. 98%. 98% of them went out and reoffended almost immediately. How in the world? Wait, but they were just in here. They were crying. They were pouring their guts out to each other and explaining to each other how we can do this, we can be better. No, they weren't. They were studying each other. Oh, that's how you look like that. Oh, okay, now I get it. So if I'm in this situation, that's what I want to do. I want to look like this. Shit. Okay, I got you. They literally studied each other's facial expressions. And when they got feedback from the psychiatrist that, yes, you are correct, and yes, I understand why you're crying, it's like, oh, you're crying. Okay, so you're supposed to cry when you do that shit. Okay, no more smiling. They have no fucking clue how to act like human beings because they're not. They're not human. If it doesn't have a soul, what is it? Dogs have a soul. I like to think I have a soul. I mean, dolphins definitely have a soul. Cats, I'm on the fence about that. Obviously, cats have a soul. It's just a little evil sometimes. But it seems like pretty much all animals have a soul. So what do you do with the ones that don't have a soul? What do you do with them? Because here's the problem. We've created the perfect environment. The United States of America is a petri dish that's perfect. It's a perfect medium for growing psychopaths. What do you think looks maxing is? What you see is what's important. What you see. Yeah, what you see is what's important. What I think, don't even bother asking me what I think. It's none of your fucking business. But what I look like, that's what's important. That is today's society. Do I need you? Well, actually, technically, I do need you guys because you're my clients. So, but my point is this: do I need to work as a team with anybody else? Well, I can work from home. I can order my bullion sent to me, my silver sent to me. I can then resend it out to people. I can sell my book right from here. It's right on my homepage. You can go there now and buy one. Buy the pre-sale, buy the book. So, do I need to be a part of a team? No. Okay, so does that hurt me to not be a team player? Not if I have a Ferrari. If I have a Ferrari, get whatever I want. Good question, Rattlesnake. We're looking at about 3 to 5 weeks. Depends on the printer. I'm trying to keep it simple for them. I don't want them to make it too long. I will do a PDF here shortly too. I just have to reformat everything. The problem is a PDF, and a lot of these books that I've purchased, because I buy a lot of them. How much can I buy 6 silver? You can buy healthy silver. How much do you want? 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 ounces? If you wanted 50,000 ounces, first of all, if you wanted 50,000 ounces, I would bring it to you, hand deliver it. But yeah, any amount, whatever you need, I can do. I am a wholesaler for all of the biggest retailers in the country. So Atmex, I'm a wholesaler for them. All of these guys that really you purchased yesterday. Well, good news is you got silver. Bad news is you paid too much, but probably not too much. Too much. maybe probably a few bucks an ounce. So, if you bought 50,000 ounces, yeah, you fucked up. But, oh, the book. Bought silver yesterday. Wait, am I reading this wrong? Wait, purchased. Oh, I purchased yesterday the book. Oh, outstanding. Okay. All right. Um, let's see here. Text me tomorrow. Okay. Gold's good. Look, gold's great. If you're gonna try to escape the country, yeah. Look, that's $100, give or take. 80, 90, whatever it is. But bottom line is, if this were gold, this would be almost $5,000. Now, are you going to make as much money on it if it's gold? No. Period. Not going to happen. Gold could double. No bullshit. It could double. If it does double, that means that silver will go up by 400 or 500%. That's a fact. That's not my prediction. That's not me being prognosticating. That's me saying, look, I understand the physical markets. Gold is money. Period. You want a stable currency, back it with gold. Your politicians will hate you because they won't be able to blow your country's economy up. They'll have to actually be held accountable. But that's all gold is. Now you got silver. Silver is actually real money too, in the truest sense, because if I have a dime right now that's made of silver, that's about $7, $8. But here's the problem: if this were made out of gold, it's $200. Well, what the hell am I going to do with $200? I mean, if I'm just running to the store, that's a lot. So what am I going to make coins that are half this size? You know how easy that's going to be to lose when they're literally smaller than my pinky nail? People don't use gold that way. So what we do is we use gold for the big bank transfers and major purchases, and then everybody else uses silver as actual money and as an industrial metal and a strategic metal. So, I mean, it's got so many other things going for it that you can't go wrong with it. Like, you can't go wrong with silver. And, of course, oh, my pleasure. And, of course, if you're going to buy it here. Or buy it on the TikTok shop, because the TikTok shop's awesome. See, I've learned that I have to say that. The TikTok shop is fantastic. Now, granted, I've gone on the TikTok shop probably 50 times now when I see a gold ad or silver ad, and I click on it, and then it takes me to some nebulous website that offers me silver for 90% off, which of course is completely impossible. Now, I'm not saying Larry Ellison's out of his fucking mind for doing that, but I do think that nobody will ever buy anything on this website after maybe June or July, because they're going to realize it's all just a big scam. Now, why he would spend billions of dollars to acquire this platform and then fuck it all up, I don't know. I'm not as smart as Larry Ellison. Clearly, he gave $100 million to the Israeli Defense Forces last year out of the goodness of his heart. I didn't give him anything. So there you have it. Anyway, yeah, the book will be ready in 3 to 5 weeks. I've purchased lots of survival books online and read them, and boy, oh boy, was I not impressed. They all had good advice at some points, but I'm going to say half of them had advice that will get you killed. The best place to buy salt. Big Bear, are you joking? Me. That's what I do. If you look in my on my channel here on TikTok, or if you're over here on YouTube, I've got YouTube going here live. It's got my my information. You can get a hold of me directly. Or can I say my phone number? What would happen if I said 480? Probably nothing. But then if I said 343, that might be something. But it probably wouldn't be a big deal if I followed it up with 2276. Yeah, because that doesn't sound like a phone number. Even to the algorithm, which is so closely watching me right now. What's the best way to polish silver? Okay. I look forward to talking to you. Okay, now when you say polish silver, you're freaking me out, bro. And here's why. If you're talking about polishing silver coins, don't do it. If you're talking about silver coins, you want to take a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of baking soda, and just a Q-tip. Dip it in the water and baking soda and very gently rub whatever's on there. Now, if it's okay, bars. Bars, it doesn't matter because bars are not okay. Wait, before I say they're not collectible, they're collectible as hell sometimes. If they're big poured bars and they say like Engelhart, Johnson Matthey, and they have a number on them, call me. And the reason I say that is because I can look it up and I can find out like were those bars poured in the 1800s? That's exactly right. Don't rub your coins; it makes them worth less. Now, sometimes people see like different colors on their coins, and they're like, "Oh, my coins are turning funky colors. That's weird." Like a Morgan silver dollar, and they'll rub they'll no, they'll take silver polish and oh god no, because what you just did was you just got rid of what's called toning, and the toning is the interaction between the tiny bit of copper they put in with the silver. And the copper and the silver begin to separate slightly over time. And when you get a rainbow toned Morgan silver dollar, it is a thing of beauty. There are guys out there who have spent tens of thousands of dollars on a coin that's worth maybe $1,000. But the rainbow toning was so perfect that they're like, nope, I want that coin. I want that coin. Okay, fair enough. And by the way, if it's already slabbed, if it's PCGS or NGC, then that toning's not going anywhere. It's already in a slab. That toning will only get brighter. And so if it's a rainbow tone where it's just like some kind of really cool pattern on it, or if it starts in the center and changes colors on its way out, like somebody's pupil or something, wow, or iris, then wow, you don't want to clean those. How much would 50 pounds cost? You're gonna have to call me tomorrow because I can tell you this, a lot less than it costs right now. If we blow up a couple ships, it'll drop by a few bucks, potentially. I'd like to see if the market has priced in this idiocracy. If it has, you're still going to be around or like low 80s. That's what I'm guessing. Whatever the price is, we can go into APMEX, Money Metals, JM Bullion. We can check all their prices. Whatever their prices are, I will kick their ass. I do this with clients all the time. I'll go on there and I'll say, okay, so if you buy 500, then the price is X amount. And you can go on your computer or your phone or whatever, and you can actually look at the prices along with me. Go to their website and check, and I'll say, okay, so they're at $92. I'm at 85. It's like, if you're buying 10,000 coins and you're saving $8 per coin, like what? You're saving thousands and thousands of dollars from buying from me. And by the way, I am a wholesaler for them. It's just, the thing is, and I know this sounds silly, it sounds idealistic, but how many yachts can you ski behind? Granted, I don't make nearly as much money as APMEX. But look at APMEX's numbers. Look at their bottom line. Holy shit, they make $1 billion a year. I don't need to make $1 billion a year. Heck, if I make $1 million a year, I'm relatively happy with that. Now, I have a funny feeling I'll do better than that this year. And that's because silver cannot be held down. If this war flares up again in a big way, we're going to have inflationary numbers that shock the hell out of you. Like right now, if we just stopped this war right now, we're at 10% inflation. We're higher than Biden ever was. Now I know a lot of MAGA guys, a lot of my friends that are Republicans are like, "Oh, this is bullshit. You could never fuck this country up worse than Biden did." Yeah, you actually can. And the way that you would do that is not just a war. Well, Afterburner, give me a call. Normally it's 100 ounces, but you know what? I want everybody to have some, and I've got some. I've got some odd lots. Like I think this is 5. Yeah, I got 5 ounces here that actually belonged to a client. And he said, "Hey, can you sell these for me?" Well, yeah, 5. I mean, sure, I can sell 5, no problem. So I've got, here's what I would say: buy as much as you can. That's your lie. You can tell it like you want to. I don't know. When is the shit going to hit the fan? February 28th. That's the problem, is that in a sense, and again, you have to remember that the way that I've finally learned over 35 years of doing econ, the way that I look at things is not the way you look at things, because I see, that it's like action, reaction, action, reaction. Well, I see action. Reaction. And so people don't think like that. It's like, okay, cause and effect. What's the cause? War. What's the effect? Inflation. Right now? Slightly. Well, what does slightly mean? Well, slightly means only in terms of our fuel. That's it. You remember $20 for silver? $27. Yeah, that was only like 5 years ago, bro. 4 years ago, something like that. I remember $27 very well too. And I remember people saying to me, "God, man, are you sure I should get in? Because fuck, it was just $5, and now it's all the way up to almost 30. It can't go any higher than this." It can't. You're right. It didn't. Silver didn't go up. The dollar went down. And that's what you have to understand. When people say to me, "God, man, it's already 80. It's like $80. How much more could it go up?" It's not going up. It's not going up. The question you have to ask yourself is, if you were a fat, dishonest, alcoholic, sexually deviant politician, and there were people pressuring you to print more money and do exactly what you were told, or your big secret would come out, how quickly would you destroy the economy? Lindsey Graham, Randy Fine, these are people who there's no connection between them and humanity. Do I think that Lindsey Graham is a psychopath? No, I don't think he's a psychopath. I think he's, my personal opinion is that he's closeted and that he is terrified of that coming out because he's from South Carolina. I think that he's got people who control him because of the fact that he is so wildly gay and can't bring himself to be honest about it. I mean, if there was ever a time in the history of humanity to be honest about being gay, it would be Rome, Sparta, or now. Like, if you're a gay black woman, that's a superpower now. Like, people have to hire you. They have to put you in the lead role of a movie. They have to let you do whatever it is you want to do, because say no and watch what happens next. You can't say no. It's a superpower. So, yeah, the idea that he's terrified that people are going to find that out it's a little odd to me. But again, I think the problem is that he's a dispensationalist Zionist Christian, which means that he's Jewish, because Christianity and Judaism couldn't possibly be more opposite in every conceivable way. Like, there is absolutely no common ground whatsoever. None. What did Jesus say about the punishment for being gay? Nothing. Now, do I endorse that? I don't fucking care. Look, are you honest? Do you work hard? Do you do what you're supposed to, which is like help people that are less fortunate than you? And I don't mean like give all your money away, but when you see somebody struggling to get across the street, help them out. When you see somebody that is clearly they're blind, or clearly they're 90 years old, or you see a little kid who's crying because they're lost. I mean, come on, this is just, you don't turn your phone on to get a good Instagram post. You help, or you don't, which is unfortunately what most people do now. They get a great video. It's going to get 1 million hits. I know it, that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, we're as far as the shit hitting the fan, we're there. We're already there. We can't get away from there. And the reason I say that we can't get away from there, unfortunately, is because it's too late. We've blocked all of the things that we need to make plastic, all of the things that we need to make fertilizer, all of the things that we need to make engines run and vehicles go. And we've done that for weeks now. Well, that's going to work its way down the supply chain. Now, if you don't factor in any of that stuff, what's about to hit us over the course of the next 6 months, if you just look at what's inflation right now, I don't want to hear the bullshit about what maybe could, should have, would have, what is it right now? 10%. What? 10%. Solely based on fuel alone. How is that possible? Well, because when fuel goes up by 48% overnight, all of a sudden, you're not dealing with less than 1% inflation, which is where we were. That's where we were. Did you know that right now, food inflation is right now at 0.2%. Not 2% inflation, that's the target. Not 1% inflation, 0.2%. That's so fucking low, it's hard to believe. It's like, what? What food inflation? So there's no food inflation? No. Wait, the prices of food it's not going up right now? No. It went up like crazy after COVID, but look right now. I could go right now and I could buy a steak for the same price I bought it last year. Same price. Pork chops, same price. I know. I hate it, but I'm a fucking human calculator. I memorize the prices in my grocery store. Why do you think I'm single? Well, I mean, other than my face. I crack myself up. Other than my looks. Um, and the fact that I'm 6'7" and I weigh 350 pounds and I look like a fucking Sasquatch. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you like to play? So here's my point. Milk. Now I get it. Milk doesn't really count because the subsidies and all that shit. But all of the other groceries, like eggs. Remember when eggs were $8 for 12 of them? Well, they're not anymore. Okay, it's come back down. Price of milk's always been stabilized because of subsidies. So quit bragging. Yeah, bragging about not being able to get a date. That's you don't brag about that, bro. So but you know, you look at the price hummus. There's one. What are the not wheat thins? Triscuits. Love those damn things. I know you shouldn't eat those. Highly processed, whatever. You know, who wants to live to be 180? So, but my point is, you look at all of these prices and you go, yeah, I guess I didn't notice, but they stabilized. They haven't gone back up or up more. Yeah, because they jumped up so much and people screamed so much that literally everybody in retail got it. Like, oh shit. Oh, and one of the things, another thing, when they stopped putting $25 for 3 pounds, oh man, you got that grass-fed Nebraska, New Zealand, you know, we butterfly beef. That's silly. That is absolutely ridiculous. $25 for 3 pounds. I know that I can buy skinless, boneless chicken breast for $4.99 a pound. That's organic. I can buy beef now, and again, if I'm buying, if I wanted to buy sirloin, which is yeah, it's okay. Sirloin was $9 a pound, which is the same shit it was a year ago. Hamburger, because I never buy anything above 20% fat, like 95% lean, you're literally pissing away money. There's no reason to do that. Doesn't taste as good. It's not, and it's not good for you. Ribeyes are absolutely the best steak in the world. I live in North. Okay, then maybe it's your area, but I can tell you this. I'm trying to remember. I just bought a couple tubes of 80% lean. Oh, like a month ago. But I want to say it was $6. So 3 pounds would have been $18. But still, that's a big difference. 18 to 25. That's a big difference. So there's you know, fruit. Like I don't see any difference in avocados, which is odd because now that the cartels control avocados, you'd think they'd be going through the roof, but they've always been stupidly expensive. What else? Yeah, little things like $8.99 for organic blueberries for the big box, not the little box, but the bigger box of organic blueberries. That was $8.99. So I mean, the you know, sometimes that's the problem with Costco. Fucking sneaky. Sometimes their prices are fantastic, and sometimes they actually suck. And it's like, what happened? That's just, it depends on what it is. And by the way, we just did this the other night with a solar generator, solar panels, etc. Bell peppers, 2 for $5. How would anybody know that? Nobody eats bell peppers. We don't eat. You eat bell peppers? Why would you do that? Actually, you know what's funny? Green bell peppers are actually not ripe, and I think they suck. But once they turn like red or yellow, they actually taste really good. Ground beef rising nearly 16% over the past year and 40% compared to 2 years ago. Hmm. That must be then it must be kind of an anomaly in Arizona because I don't remember it rising that much. I mean, I guess I do remember like last year, but there were some sales where it's like, oh, 3.99. Well, shit. Of course I'm gonna eat a pound of steak or a pound of hamburger a day for the next 2 weeks. Which, by the way, is very good for you. Um, 8 pounds of avocados. What? Eight 8 pound avos, 240 a pound. That doesn't even make sense. Fry's does have really good prices. Is it beef from a farm? There's so many smart ass things popping into my head all at once that it's like I can't even pick. It's like I'm being bombarded with beach balls and I don't know which ones to hit because it's just so easy. Because no, actually, the beef I was talking about is from Manhattan, Upper West Side. It's city beef. Yes, I'm a smartass. Another reason I'm probably single. Another probable reason I'm single. That's the right way to say that. I saved the tallow from the last brisket that I smoked. Now, isn't that odd that they censored that comment? Now, why would they censor that comment? Why do you think? I'll tell you why. Because this algorithm's crazy. Nuts. Makes no sense. Factory farm beef or free range. I see what you're saying. The special Mickey Biz City Pat. What? By the way, if you guys follow me on here, that would be awesome because I'm trying to get to 120. I've been at 119,900 subscribers for 2 years. Now I know you're saying bullshit, dude. That's numerically impossible. Like you're either going to drop down or you're going to go up. But the idea that you would stay in that exact spot for 2 years, I know. It's bullshit. Tic Tac is literally like restricting me or something. I don't know. If I buy straight from the farmer's farm shop, I just bought the glass based on my ego. And I thought, if I'm only going to have a couple beers a night, make them count. Mm. This explains why Ireland doesn't rule the world. Cali prices are ridiculously high because you have the greatest governor of all time. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Finkelstein special. Hey, by the way, when I say that Governor Newsom is the best governor California's ever had, I don't think there's any debating that. Where'd I get the glass? Oh shit, I don't even remember. It's been so long. I got this. I've got a mug also that is. I know the mug's 40 ounces. I don't know what that one is. But yeah, I just decided I went on sort of a crazy buying spree and bought shit that fit me. A Stein, a Finkelstein. Yeah, and I have a flask. It's awesome. It's a flask. It's like one of those little flasks you drink out of, except mine holds an entire fifth. It's like this tall and it's about this wide. And it's curved, so you can still slip it in there. The Silver Mug Challenge. Not sure what that is, but I'll take it. I will try it. All right, guys. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go make dinner. I know it's a little late to eat, but it is what it is. I'm making chili tonight. I'm not really making chili. What I'm doing is I'm taking a bunch of beef cubes. I'm browning them, and then I'm going to put them into some chili that I got at the store. Yeah, so it's kind of half homemade, sort of homemade, but not really. I've I have never tried Red Devil Pizza. There's one 2 miles that way. Wait, I've eaten there though. I don't think I had the pizza though. It's really odd. Use an Instapot. An Instapot. Well, it's not like Instacart, I'm sure. Oh, for heating it up. I see what you're saying. Yep. Uh, am I in Ohio? Cindy, if I was in Ohio, I'd come over right now. But I'm actually in Arizona, way far away. Oh, Costco sells good chili. I was not aware of that. I did buy a pack of Costco hot dogs. The fucking Costco hot dogs they were rated. I watched a little documentary thing about it because that's the kind of idiot shit I do. They were rated the best, purest hot dogs. As good, if not better, than Nathan's and the Kosher Hebrew National. Yeah, they really have great hot dogs. So I bought a package, and of course, a package is like 30 of the damn things, and they're huge hot dogs. So I've only got 3 left. I managed to, luckily I've got a son who grows about 2 feet a day right now because he just turned 13. So, woof. Wow, PA, that's a ways. Newfound steak. Everything's good on the grill, bro. Lobster ravioli. Now that sounds really good. That sounds like, see, that's kind of shit you buy. You got to buy like 8 pounds of it because it's for a party. It's a party platter thing. But then I don't. I bring it home and I put it in the fridge. And I open the fridge and I go, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of that. And then I look an hour later and go, oh, shit, there's only 6 ounces left. There's no point in putting it back in the fridge in that huge container. And I'm not getting dirty some Tupperware because I don't have any because I'm a bachelor. Fuck it, I'll just eat the rest of that. And then it's gone. That day. There's a reason that I weigh so much. It's not, you don't get to 353 pounds on accident. I saw a girl that I can't have key lime pie. I love key lime pie. My son doesn't like key lime pie. Problem with that is if I buy a key lime pie that's this big, I will eat the key lime pie that's this big. I do need a nagging partner. So what happened there? Look at that. They censored that. Like they think that that's a bad thing. Every guy should have a nagging partner. Yeah, I saw a former girlfriend yesterday. And she said, wow, you look great. And I said, really? I've gained 70 pounds since you saw me last. And she said, oh, bullshit. That would mean that you weigh like 350 pounds. And I said, well, according to the doctor's office, 353 yesterday. And she went, well, you look great. And I thought, yeah, but I get out of breath tying my shoes. Not good. But there's a reason for this. The reason is now that I am, like every other person over the age of 40 in the United States, fat. I'm going to see how fast, like, I'm just going to pretend like, okay, power's out. What am I going to eat? And I'm going to eat for the next couple of months, not starting tonight, but starting in the next week or so. I'm going to eat what I would normally eat if that were the case. Buy a little pie, that defeats the whole purpose. That, why would you buy a little pie? Short yourself, silly. I'm not fat and I can't cook. Well, then you're perfect for me. We're a match made in heaven. So, all right. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go fake some chili. And remember, because when I thought of this, you know how they say that teamwork makes the dream work? I say, based on the United States and where we're at, it's teamwork makes the scheme work. Because right now, it's all a big scam. So don't buy the cheesecake's the best thing in the world. 1,100 calories per slice. Cheesecake should actually come with like CPR instructions in the pie pan. That's what I think. All right, you guys, see you tomorrow. 12 new followers. That is fantastic. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging with me on the YouTubes, and I will see you tomorrow.